Okay, so this says graph the line described by y plus 1 equals negative 1/6 x plus 3. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You could just plot points. You could say, let's let x be 0, let's let x be 1, and see what we get for y. That's one method. You could use the fact that this is in point slope form, which I think point slope form can be a little tricky sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation in slope intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. That way I have my slope. That way I have my y-intercept, so I can graph the line no problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this negative 1/6 and I'm going to distribute it to both terms in the parentheses. So I have y plus 1 on the left equals negative 1/6 times x is negative 1/6 x. Negative 1/6 plus 3, that's going to be 3/6. So that's going to be, negative 1/6 times 3. That's going to be negative 1/2. Okay, your calculator can do that. If you just did 1/6 times 3, it'll give you 0.5, or if you hit math, enter, it'll give you the fraction of 1/2. And since the 1/6 is negative, there's a negative there. So now I just have to get rid of this 1 here. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract 1 there, subtract 1 there. Only combining like terms, so I have y equals negative 1/6 x. Negative 1/2 minus 1. Well, let's try it. Negative 1/2 minus 1. You'll get negative 1.5. Math, enter. You should get negative 3/2. Like so. All right, so this is my y-intercept, 0, negative 3/2, or negative 1.5. So I'm going to start right there. And my slope is negative 1/6. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1 over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to fall outside of there. So let me connect them. And your line's going to look like that. Now, on the problem set and quiz, you'll always have enough space on the graph to plot your 2 points. So in this particular example, this question's not the best because it doesn't give you enough space to plot this point. Okay, so I wouldn't stress about this question too much, but know how to solve this thing for y, graph the y-intercept, and a second point using the slope. Okay, the next one. Let's see here. Let me shrink this a little bit. Looks like you had most of this done correctly on your own. This says, for these problems, X will represent the number of items and Y will represent money. The fixed cost for a certain item is $120 per week. The cost to produce each item is $6 per item. So using the equation, what's the cost equation? $6 per item plus your fixed cost. Perfect. The retailer intends to sell each for 10, so it's 10 times the number of items, 10x. Perfect. So this says if in this week 27 items are made and all the items are sold, what's the cost? So you just plugged 27 in here to get that. How much is the revenue? Well, we're just going to plug 27 in there to get that. Now, if you ever want your profit, this is going to come up again in chapters 2 and 3, I believe. Our profit is always going to be equal to revenue, the money you earned, minus your costs. So in this particular case, my profit is going to be equal to 270, my revenue, minus my costs. 282. This answer minus this answer, which is weird because we get a negative number, but your profit in this case is actually going to be negative $12. Okay.